Alrighty, the next Manderville quest is Meteorites and Meteor-wrongs, given to us by Hildy. We are outside of the Nexus Arcade in Solution 9. Here we go. Right, we shall find our way to this cocktail dirigible landing. See you there. Yak T'el. I'm pretty sure it was Yak's tail, Inspector. Yak's tail. He's like a little bit shocked. Like, what? Are you sure? Are you positive? Eek Brox in Yak T'el is probably the closest teleport. We're doing it for free, but it's like 1400 gil. We just got this Raptor Chocobo crossbreed thing from the Monster Hunter collab. Dude just gave it to us like that. It just seemed too simple. We should have had to like earn it, I think, maybe, but it's fine. There is another amount that you can earn. I believe you have to do the extreme version of the fight a lot. But yeah. Here is Hardy Boiled. We are in a town called, well, we're at the dirigible landing. You can go to and from Tuliolol here. But yeah, anyway, continuing here with Hardy. Ah, you made it. Even this jaded old gumshoe had to appreciate that view coming in over the treetops. Anyway, I talked to the locals while waiting for you lot to arrive, and one fella had seen Mr. Cactuar flying down to the lower forests. I'm told the biggest place out that way is a settlement called Mamook, so that'll be our next destination. Let's head over there, walk the streets, ask some questions. You know, the usual. Very good, Detective, but what's become of your wondrous wheeler? Night Stallion would draw more attention than I'd like. I'll use the autopilot function to call him if I need him, but otherwise I'll make do with my own 2 feet. I, on the other hand, will mount up and fly. I ain't walking that. Actually, could teleport. Will teleport. It's far enough. I'm gonna teleport. I don't. Hold on. I don't think you can get to Mamook. Just walking. Do you have to go? Would you go through here? You might go through the Tienbeck Traverse, and then down. I think maybe. It's been a while since I've had to travel by foot to connect the zones. Okay. From the Mamook crystal, head to the northeast, find Hardy and the other 2 outside of town. That must be Mamook. They build things different down here, huh? But we ain't got time to admire the architecture. Spread out and find someone who's clapped eyes on that Cactuar. This town does indeed have kind of more of these stone. We talked to Linel Jha, who is browsing a couple shelves. We tell her, I believe, why we're here. Why, yes, I did see an unusual creature riding a strange vehicle through the forest at breakneck speeds. The vehicle's terrible noise is what first drew my attention, followed by the incomprehensible yelling of its pilot. Yet the sight of this posturing man-plant was so absurd I found myself more bemused than frightened. Posturing man-plant sounds like a pretty good description of what a Cactuar does. It does as many postures and poses as a Hildebrand, as a Manderville does. Bakul Jha, kind of a warrior dude, tending to what I think, what are they called? Are they called wyverns here? I don't know. Like a big rhinoceros with a bigger horn, and Triceratops spikes, but short. Anyway, Bakul Jha. That name sounds really familiar, actually. Maybe Bakul Jha. I don't know.
Ah, the subject of recent gossip. I crossed paths with the creature myself, and it was indeed odd, but the machine it rode upon was the true wonder. He pulled up alongside me and my Wyver, that's W-I Victor R-E, Wyvray, Wyver, whatever, challenged us to a race, then zoomed off with astounding swiftness. If you're planning to catch that fiend, you'll need an equally miraculous mount.
The funny thing is, Cactuars in previous Final Fantasy games are... Oops, that's a different quest. Are very speedy in a lot of games. I don't remember the exact reason we had to do it, but in Final Fantasy XI there was one very fast Cactuar we had to defeat for some reason. Again, I can't remember why. Mirelja, near one of the entrances to Mamook. Again, female, I believe. The females dress differently, as far as I remember.
Yes, I've encountered the fiend you describe. The forest has its share of fantastical creatures, but this one was undeniably out of place. I observed it smashing one of the giant meteorites with a club, then racing away with the broken pieces. Make of that what you will.
Smashing one of the giant meteorites. I don't really know what that means. But the quest is Meteorites and Meteor-wrongs, so who, yeah. And then Hardy is talking to one of the male Mamook. The Mamook, by the way, are people that kind of lizard-like, long tail lizard-like, bipedal though. Their feet only have like two big, thick kind of fingers coming from a singular like heel joint. Their legs are bent in the opposite direction of humans. Somewhat like 3 fingers and a thumb, clawed hands. They're kind of an eel-like head, and they do generally seem to have this like kind of stand-up crest thingy on it, thin, curved. Anyway, if you haven't seen a Mamook before, or a Mamool, they're called Mamoolja, I believe. Anyway, cutscene with Hardy and this Mamoolja. Sorry, the town is Mamook. They are called the Mamoolja, I believe. It's been a while. Pretty sure.
So, what's the rap?
I explain what I've learned. The testimonies I gathered were very much the same. There's a Cactuar racing around out there. That much can be certain. Hardy thinks on it.
But if he's making stops to bag meteorite fragments, then this ain't no simple joyride. Talk to me, Mercy. Something about those rocks I ought to know?
I nod to him. I don't remember, but my character does, apparently.
Some kind of special etheric radiation, eh? We haven't pieced together Keshkahi's big plan yet, but he seems real interested in those space stones.
He puts a finger in the air.
Which means we've got a good chance of finding his spiky goon by staking out the spots where the meteorites are. If we nab the Cactuar, we can make him lead us to the researcher, and to Carnelian. When I say us, I mean me and Night Stallion, of course. Once we find him, the rest of you won't be giving chase without an air-wheeler.
I need no such contrivance. These legs have been conditioned by an intensive Chocobo-bearing exercise regimen. Conditioned by an intensive Chocobo-bearing exercise regimen. Chocobo-bearing... Like you were bearing the Chocobos? Like they were riding you? Is that what you mean by that? Nashu just nods. They go running off. He reaches out to stop them, but they're gone. Not quickly, just regular jog, but...
Well, good luck to them. Still think he's a weak-willed punk, but I can't deny that uncanny body of his is made of sterner stuff.
I kind of give him a, yeah, you don't know the half of it kind of smile.
Let's get on with it then. I hear there's a few good-sized meteorites alongside the road that leads out of town. We'll start at the near end and hope the Mook puts in an appearance.
I give him a nod. He walks out of the scene, goes to black. Mount up, head west. Mount up and head west. Sorry, I don't know why. We have a vantage point where we see Hardy Boiled, Hildy, and Nashu. A big meteorite, indeed, with some glowing patches in it.
No wheeler riding Cactuar around here. Let's move on. Ugh, that idiot inspector took off like he had the case all sewn up, but running fast didn't find him any leads, did it? And here I thought he was onto something.
He disappears, walking away. That way, Nashu. I think I may be onto something, says Hildy, following in the direction of Hardy. And Nashu runs as well, following. We head more west and a little bit north. This zone has a kind of regular looking trees, although they like to dive, like the branches like to go, or roots maybe, like to go into the ground and make a big loop and go out of the ground, make it like a big arch loop and go back into the ground. And they've got flowers and other flora along the branches and trunk and stuff that are pretty neon. Pretty and neon. We have another vantage point. Oh yeah, there's a meteorite over there. Nashu and Hildy seem to just be having their own conversation.
No sign of him here either. On to the next meteorite.
Hildy notices that Hardy's gone. I detect a hint of criminality in that direction. Onwards, Nashu. We mustn't let the detective beat us to the punch. He goes running. Nashu goes running. Oh, he stops it for a second. Waves to me. Hi, Nashu. Sometimes she reminds me of the relationship between Deadpool and I think her name is Kimiko, the girlfriend of teenage Negasonic Teenage Warhead? I don't know. Hi, Kimiko. Hi, Wade. Like that kind of thing. Very cute. We fly north and a little bit west this time. Vantage point number 3. Usually third time's the charm. We get a cutscene. The camera pans down from the tall trees, some green fireflies, some little like mini looking comet things, but they're bugs that are like lit up bugs that kind of... We hear and then see a motorbike with a Cactuar, one of those big buff Cactuars, Spike.
Look out and stand aside or it's 1,000 needles in your hide. Make way for the unmatchable, uncatchable Spike.
He's got a spiked club as well. We see Spike in spiky letters with like fire coming up from the bottom of the screen for a freeze frame. He's got sunglasses, a little pink flower on top of his head. Like he's a buff humanoid cactoid.
This one looks ripe for the smashing. Hold it right there. I'm gonna need you to hop off that air-wheeler.
Hardy and myself walk out. Nashu's eating a banana that has a little bit of a neon glow, and Hildy, they're both peeking from behind a bush behind us.
Huh? You must be the blowhards I was warned about.
Points a spike club at us.
Think you can give orders, to the succulent speedster? My ride is maxed out with black market mods, and there ain't no one faster. Zooms in on him some more. Keep up if you can, slow pokes.
Throws his spiked club down, puts his big ball hands on the handlebars and speeds off.
If that's the way it's gotta be, challenge accepted.
Puts a finger in the air.
To me, Night Stallion, it's time to burn rubber.
The bike comes. He goes running to try to match speed a little bit. Does, hops on, and follows the Cactuar. There goes Hildy, sprinting. I'm right behind you! Nashu going her normal speed. And I'm right behind you, Inspector! I just give a big sigh. Go running as well. The scene just transitions after watching us go for a while.
Yeah!
Or yeah, says Spike.
Damn it, the stallion's at full gallop and I'm still trailing.
Hildy has caught up and jumped on the back. Twould seem you require my assistance after all. He's sitting like side saddle. Hardy comes to a stop with the back wheels popping into the air. Hildy just sits side saddle the whole time, not thrown, nothing, not even holding on, just sitting side saddle. His hands are in his lap.
What the? You caught up to me on foot?
The Cactuar keeps going.
Fine, change of plans.
He tries to whip out a gun, but pulls a banana.
Where's my damn python?
A glowy banana in his hand. Hildy looks very happy, has the gun, turns to sit backwards now. I'll just tweak the weapon's elemental settings like so. With you steering and me providing the thrust, that fiend will soon learn a harsh lesson. He's pointing the gun backwards, so like behind the bike, like to provide thrust, I guess. Nothing outruns a fired up Manderville man. And the gun superpowers with fire building at the end of the barrel. He shoots it. They blast off, pulling a wheelie, flailing Hardy, grabs the controls barely, sets the front wheel back down. The gun is still firing the fire blast. We see like the lips going like in the wind, in the air, you know. It goes up some stairs. Gah! Over Mamook, most of it. Catches up to the Cactuar. They're going on like paved.
Are they actually gaining on me? Come on then, I feel the needle for speed.
And he gets super needly all over his body. He's glowing as well. The fire coming back from Hardy's bike. Going up like a curved rock wall. We see a freeze frame of them side by side. Now they're in front of the Cactuar. We did it! Victory is ours! Uh-oh, and Hardy's bike starts to malfunction a bit, losing its stability. He kind of barely gets around a few tree stumps, and now they are basically ramped over into, or they're over a big lake. The bike is catching on fire, getting all electricity, getting explodey. Hildy was in a very weird squat pose. They both get their weird Manderville smiles before an explosion, and the bike explodes. Spike stops at the edge of the lake. We see Hildy and Hardy both buried torso down into the lake, as well as the motorbike is also buried, like front half down. Spike gets off his bike.
I can't believe it. My undefeated record, my legendary win streak. It's over.
He's got one of those big ball hands on the bike as he's standing next to it.
And yet, I feel strangely content.
Nashu and I catch up. He turns to us. I whip out my black mage staff. He sits. Big ball hands on the ground.
Enough. You win. Just hand me over to the coppers and be done with it.
I put my staff back. Nashu just cocks her head at me. I shrug. We have a Mamulja police person and a human archer police person who are going to be Spike's escorts.
So the researcher forced you to work for him like he did with the other fiends. That's right, told me to smash and grab the meteorites from the forest, but not what he wanted them for.
Hardy thinks about it.
All this way to nab some delinquent goon and no leads on Keshkahi or Carnelian to show for it.
He and Hildy are once again kind of scorched from the explosion, but he shows it much less than Hildy does in clothing.
Not to mention my beautiful ride getting thrashed. That one's on you, Hildebrand.
He puts a finger in the air. Perhaps we can try running together next time. Weird shrug, or big shrug from Hardy.
Oh, if you're looking for Keshkai, I know exactly where he'll be, waiting for my meteorite delivery over by the cliffs southwest of here.
Shock from everybody.
Why didn't you say that sooner? I bet Carnelian is there with him,
says Hardy.
He won't escape me this time.
He goes running. I leave this criminal Cactuar in your custody. Fiendish appearance aside, 'tis a man's soul within, so please treat him accordingly, says Hildy to the Mamulja, who gives a nod of acknowledgement. The Mamulja is a sword and board kind of person. They go walking off with the Cactuar. Now, let us follow the detective to these cliffs, shall we? I must ensure these villains are served a gentleman's justice. Nashu gives her customary hands clasped in front of her chair with her foot kicked up thing. They go running. I go walking. The bug follows us. Cutscene goes black. We fly very much southwest. Would be maybe slightly faster to teleport to Ikbrox first and then just go mostly south from there, but who said I do smart things? Flying over a pretty dense like tree canopy, jungle canopy of the blue and green kind of leaf variety at the top of the trees. Not, in my opinion, rainforesty. Also probably not like, Pacific Northwest kind of foresty, but I don't know. I don't really know what a good comparison would be. We find Hardy, Hildy, and Nashu. Who's asleep standing up? Yes. Trying to fall asleep standing up.
Shh, I can hear them just up ahead. Let me get the drop on them before we all go barging in.
Cutscene. We see Carnelian and the gas mask man, and they have a hovercraft ride. Keshkahi, the gas mask person man guy.
He's late. We must assume something went wrong.
I forgot what voice I did from earlier.
These meteorites will provide the perfect energy source, and I would prefer to harvest a surplus, but it is too great a risk to linger here.
Carnelian.
Hardybolt says, "Freeze, mage! You so much as twitch your lips and I'll light you up."
With his gun to the Carnelian's the back of his head.
"No, I've worked too hard to give up now,"
says Keshkai, who races over to his hovercraft and seemingly gets away. The bug, myself, and Nashu join as well. He's getting away, says Carnelian.
He'll keep. I've got the one I want. But don't think I'm taking you in just so you can escape. Never again.
Gun starts to power up. Lightning charge. Still to the back of Carnelian's head. The bug is watching intently. I'm assuming Hildy's going to step in front. Murder is not the answer, detective. From the trees, he has frog-like leaped toward Carnelian, who becomes a green slime. Hildy is coughing as he is basically digested. Nashu is panicking. Hildy's head pops out. Where did Carnelian go? The slime throws Hildy at Hardy. The gun knocked out of Hardy's hands. The slime becomes Carnelian again. You almost had me, if not for this bumbling fool you tolerate. Soft as ever. He starts to teleport out and successfully does so. Hardy runs to the spot where he teleported from. For what purpose, who knows? Looking over a cliff, it starts to rain, thunder and clouds in the sky. Hildy stands. Hardy's head's bowed a little bit now as lightning starts to crackle down. He turns a little bit. Nashu's holding her hands in front of her mouth like, oh no. Hardy walks over to his gun, picks it up. Slowly. Just put it away and...
You and me are done, Hildebrand. Stay out of my way,
he says as he's starting to walk past Hildy. Hildy looks a bit sad. The bug turns and starts to walk out, like follow Hardy. My recent inadequacies as an inspector appear to have earned the detective's ire. 'Twas you he turned to for assistance with this case, Mercy. It is only fitting that you remain at his side for the duration. My face lightens up a little bit, and I nod. Meanwhile, Nashu and I shall persist with our independent inquiries, he says, and she gives her little hands in front of her face, or, her little cheer, which I think is the general Miqote cheer, because I tend to do it, my character does it after extracting materia, which I can't obviously demonstrate right now, I think. Hold on. Yeah, I got nothing to extract. Okay, we talked to Hardy outside of his residence, which we are teleported to. Thank you very much. That was nice of you. Cutscene to end the quest. End the quest, by the way.
Sorry for the sudden exit back there, but that yolk for brains had me steaming.
My options are Hildebrand only wants to help, or ... I'm gonna say nothing. Just cross my arms. He crosses his. He doesn't see Hildy or Nashu coming to join us. Oh, no, but he does see them hiding behind some of the carts that are like they transport goods, and they're both shocked that he saw them.
For the love of... I see you sulking over there, soft-boiled.
Skulking, sorry. Hildy and Nashu come over. My face is a little bit embarrassed. Isn't this a delightful spot of serendipity? We were simply following the villain's trail, and look how we've all run into each other. Completely by chance. Yeah. Hardy turns away. A look of yeah. Hildy's face was like, shoot, what do I do? Well, we were only passing through after all. We shall apprehend that masked mastermind with our own tried and true methodology. You shall see. He gives a big thumbs up. He goes running away, as does Nashu. Hardy adjusts his tie.
Mercy, I want you on the case with me from here on out. When it comes to a proper guide beyond the dome, as well as being tougher than yours truly, no one else fits the bill. You might need to cool your heels for a bit while I work on salvaging more data, but Hardy Boiled always gets his files in the end. See you around.
1883 Gil. Meteorites and Meteor-wrongs is complete. We get our little after quest scene thingy. Meanwhile, elsewhere, we see stasis tubes, stasis chambers in a circular room. Probably about, but they seem empty. And it's more of an, I guess, figure 8 shaped room, I get, now that I'm seeing the whole of it. Says Keshkahi.
Ha 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 ha! At long last, my scheme has come to fruition. No longer must I endure the company of incompetent colleagues. All is in readiness. The replication of my brilliant mind is at hand.
Spreads his arms wide.
Never again will I be known as the Cani Loca Corpus's second best. My name shall ring across the lands, carried far and wide by an army of unrivaled geniuses.
Carnelian is behind him. Pfft. Like PFFT. Like pfft. Like he disagrees, kind of like pfft.
Something amusing, says Keshkahi, turning.
Oh, just the fact that you repaired a device capable of miracles, yet your plans for it are so very banal.
You dare mock me?
He whips out his staff. Keshkahi puts like a flare over him, and Keshkahi is down. That was seemingly too easy. What a bore he was. Now to realize a dream worthy of this marvelous technology. We look up. Oh, we see the flying saucer, and it is plugged in by this kind of like snaking metal tube thing. It is capable of a lot of replication. We have a black and white. We are in solution 9. We see the Hildebrand logo here with the face and the weird lettering. We have Hardy walking near the spot where we met him. Takes off his hat. Detective Hardy Boiled, they called me. I see a bunch of eggs. Three boiling in a pot. Cool and tough as a cucumber wrapped in old leather. I'm a man who prefers his own company. He's at like an L-shaped bar. Has an egg in his hand. Cracks it on his head. Starts to peel it. We're back like on an overlook in solution 9. Takes a bite out of the egg. Today's egg was overdone. I let the pot boil and boil, a match to my mood. Takes another bite, eating the rest of the egg. Eggshells on the ground at his feet. Turns and just walks away from him. We see the bug. They say you can't make a cracked shell whole again. Maybe it's time I smashed it completely. And the black and white screen freeze frames on Hardy walking away with the bug. Maybe like 20, 25 yards back, 30, who cares? And then Nashu in color comes out to the screen. Core, those are some troubling thoughts. Can anyone save Detective Hardy Boiled from himself? I bet the inspector can. With us on the case, a happy ending is never far away. See you, Inspector. She gives a double hand wave, a smile with her eyes closed. And that should be the last of the Hildebrand quests until the next patch. So, Hardy and I thank you for watching. We do so hope you have enjoyed. We will see you at some point in time for the following quests when they come. Bye bye for now.